Hey fellas, I've been doing some work on this Tiger One, putting that airsoft recoil turret on there, and wouldn't you know it, as I was doing it, my gearbox gave up on me. They're not supposed to do that, and part of the reason for that is that this is a IMEX Tigen full metal Tiger One early, but I've had this tank for a while. I got it just shortly after Eric came to work for IMEX, so um, there's been a lot of changes made to the tank since then. Eric's really he's really made these tanks a lot better. This tank is old enough that I had to move my volume and smoke switch myself. It came with those mounted down here, so you'd have to open up the tank to turn your smoke on or off or adjust your volume. I also put a screen on there to protect um, the fan. It's not so necessary with airsoft, but with the IR tanks, there's a lot of wires coming down from that turret, and if they touch the fan, they make a really nasty noise. So I used a cooking screen, and all of my Tigen MFUs now have that guard on there. A lot of them know I've taken a Sharpie and made the screen a pretty black. But anyway, all these Tigen tanks come with this motor plate down in here. And one of the things I never liked about them is that the left side motor is only held in by two screws. Now, some of this stuff that I'm showing will have to do with what country you're in, how the shipping rates are going to affect you. If you're in the States, you can call or email Eric down there in Florida, and he's got a bunch of these motor plates. He sent me this one for free. Um, just I got it when I was placing another order, so didn't even have to pay for shipping, and they come in really handy for a lot of different things. And one of those is that they've got all the different bolt patterns of the different gearboxes and stuff are already on there. So if you take the replacement gearbox, which is what I have here, is the set of new gearboxes that are going in there. These are also zinc motor, but I've got the newest bearinged four shaft black steel gearboxes. I could put these in here, but I've got this brand new set of zinc ones, so I figure I might as well burn them up while I'm at it. Yeah, there you go. Just put that anywhere. So what I did was I took the replacement gearbox and I just tacked it down on there with one screw, turned it over, made sure that my holes are lined up right on those slots, and there is a tapped hole on that motor plate right here. Get that down in there. Right there is a tapped hole that's not being used, and on the most of the gearboxes for the Tiger One, that hole just gets covered up by the gearbox. So the hole is all set to accept a 3mm machine screw. So I tack down on there, and there's the hole. That's the hole right there. And then I found that a fine point Sharpie will stick down in there and mark that hole just right. And that way, when I pop this back off, and here's another one for my fellow new guys, magnetic tip screwdriver. If you don't have one, you'll really like it. It'll save you a lot of crawling around on the carpet. So now when I turn this over, I've got that hole marked right where I need to drill another hole, just like that one. I'm just going to drill it right there. And then when I put that down in there, I'll be able to take one of my screwdrivers. That's another thing I found is several different sizes and types of screwdrivers are going to be very handy. And this is just an old Craftsman, but I've also found that if you blunt the tip on that a little bit, it'll fit right into one of these machine screws, and it gets a really good grip on there. If you're having grip trouble, let me know. There's a trick with Comet or Ajax, and also I can show you how to make these screwdrivers magnetic. Anyway, now after I drill that hole in there, I'll be able to get two machine screws and a coarse screw in there instead of just one of each. It'll be like this gearbox here, and that really does make a difference with flex on these, because they're just stamped steel-sided gearboxes, and I mean, that's pretty flimsy steel on there if you think about it, and you start getting a lot of stress on there, and it's going to give you problems with alignment in your gear shafts and all other kind of crazy stuff. And as long as we're here, now this, for guys in Canada, you'll get the best shipping rate from Madomart. Yeah, that's it, Madomart. And RC Dynasty is their eBay store, and they sell the spare track bar in metal, and you have to drill your own holes to mount the screws in the back there. I hope that's showing up. And which is, not that difficult to do. And then you can use metal spare track links in the front. It does hold one link less, but I think that the metal links on my tank just look so much better. And I haven't lost any yet. They actually stay right in there. If you roll a tank over, you're on your own. But those are just a couple of little tips. And there's one more for my fellow new guys. This is a flat diamond file. If you ain't got one, get one. They sell these sets at Harbor Freight for like $8 or $10. But a lot of times when you get replacement motors, your sprockets will be really, really tight on that shaft. And if you use the bolt to just draw them down on there, they're going to be a pain to get off. I got a couple tricks for that too if anybody needs them. But all I did to these was just take that flat file and just go over that flat on the gear shaft. You'll be able to see the steel change. I think they get these chromed after they machine them. Not sure, but that really helps. And if your sprockets slide on and off without too much trouble, that'll save you a lot of problems in the future. Hope that helps, fellas. See you next time.